Hi everyone, I am here with a story. I hope you guys are having a good night. One of tonight's stories is called Unlikely People and Unlikely Places. And it is by Ronika Stromberg. It's not very long. It sounds really interesting. I thought it sounded good, so I chose this one. So let's read it and see what it's about. Do you care if I put my glasses on real quick? Sometimes they're too blurry and sometimes they help, so we'll see. They're the ones from the eye doctor too, so. After a particularly difficult, draining year, I felt bone dry spiritually. I was in church, but my mind kept wandering elsewhere. The senior pastor introduced 3 visitors from Tanzania, Africa, and my mind cleared enough to wonder, what are they doing in Lincoln, Nebraska? The senior pastor told how in May 2017, a school bus in Tanzania, Africa, drove off a cliff, killing 35 of the 38 passengers. Miraculously, the bus had been followed by a missionary doctors group. Tanzania Educational Medical Ministry, STEMM, and the doctors managed to rescue 3 7th graders. Franklin Graham of Samaritan's Purse, love that organization, love it. Always love to help them when I can, and always try to get others to help when they can. You guys should really help them when you can every year, and get others to help if they can. I mean, it's cheap and it's a great thing to do. One of his planes to transport the 3 surviving children, their mothers, a nurse, and their orthopedic surgeon, to Sioux City, Iowa, so the children could receive needed medical treatment. Franklin Graham's a really nice guy. What I know of him anyway, he's a really good guy. One of the survivors, Doreen, then came to Lincoln for physical therapy, and this Sunday was attending my church with her mother and her Tanzanian surgeon, Ellis. As the senior pastor relayed this information, I felt God nudging me to go talk to these visitors after church. I am not a person who hears voices, plural, but I do at times hear the voice singular, which I have come to recognize as God's. Sometimes He comforts me or reassures me with His words, but often He tells me what I don't want to hear or asks me to do what I don't want to do. This was one of those times. Go talk to the visitors after church, He urged. I hear that a lot too. I talk to God a lot every day too. I know what she's talking about. I am not normally a greeter at church. I will welcome people if they sit right next to me, but these visitors were sitting on the opposite side of the sanctuary. I'm usually very shy as well. So I know what she is talking about there as well. I don't want to do that, I thought. Someone nearer can. I ignored the nudges and after the service walked to my car feeling guilty but somewhat relieved. Until the next Sunday, with one glance to the other side of the sanctuary, I saw that the visitors were back. So was the still small voice, go talk to the surgeon after church. God's command was even more specific than before. I didn't know why He would want me to talk to the surgeon specifically, or what I should say to this man, so again I balked. At the end of the sermon, the senior pastor announced that our church was collecting gently used orthopedic devices to send to Tanzania. I had quite a collection of those from a time when my oldest son was in a car accident, so I thought I could donate those, but I could just do that anonymously. I didn't need to talk to the surgeon. Yes, you do. Something's going on. God's telling you to talk to him. Talk to him. Didn't the Bible say a person shouldn't make a big production of his or her giving? Yes, you can give. You can give. Put it in there. Give it. Don't tell them that you're the one giving it, but still go talk to that surgeon. Go talk to the surgeon. God continued nudging me, and I was almost arguing with him in my pew because I didn't want to go over to this surgeon when I didn't know what to say to him. Then I remembered that one of the professors I worked with at the University of Nebraska had an irrigation project in Tanzania. Maybe I can tell the surgeon about Lamech. Lamech might be a point of contact for him, or could maybe haul some equipment over in his trips to and from Tanzania. Yeah, there you go. There's a starter of conversation. Right after the service, before I could lose the nerve, yes, go, I went to talk to the surgeon. However, by the time I got there, someone was already talking to him. Just wait. And I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't feel I was supposed to talk to the surviving child, Doreen, or her mother, so I basically said to God, well, I tried. Then I saw a surgeon I knew, Doug. Our sons were friends. Doug was standing near Ellis, so I thought maybe he'd already made his acquaintances. Maybe God wanted her to talk to that one instead. Especially since they were both surgeons, I decided to tell Doug about the professor whom I work with and who has the Tanzanian project. I started to tell him, and he looked at me and said, "You work at the university?" "Yes," I said. "I've been working there about 1.5 years now." "You don't know anybody who works over in that biological system engineering department, do you?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "I work there." His eyes got big. "Do you know the person responsible for admitting graduation students?" "I do," I said. "I'm the graduate program specialist." His mouth dropped open. "Wait," he said. He grabbed the Tanzanian surgeon and pulled him toward me, saying, "Ellis, come here. I have someone you want to meet." I wondered what all the fuss was about. God definitely had my attention now. Ellis stood before me, and Doug said, "Renika, tell Ellis what you do." "I work for the University of Nebraska in biological systems engineering, and I recruit and admit graduation students," I responded. Ellis took my hands in his and said, "You are the person I prayed for. Yesterday, I asked God to let me meet the person responsible for admitting students to the Biological Systems Engineering Department at UNL because I want to come here as a graduate student." He spoke about how working alongside the orthopedic surgeons from Sioux City, Iowa and Lincoln, Nebraska had strengthened his desire to further his training and develop a team of surgeons and biomedical engineers to serve his hospital in Tanzania. In Lincoln, a town of more than 208,000 people, he had heard about the biomedical engineering program at the state university and felt God leading him to the program. He had prayed to meet the one person out of 250,000 who could admit him to the program in the department at the university he wanted to be a part of. Me. So she was meant to talk to the other person, the person she already knew. Who would have thought? I have since introduced Ellis to the professor who chairs the graduate committee for the biomedical engineering program, and they are looking for grants that might pay Ellis's education expenses. They are also talking about developing an internship or exchange program between the hospital and our university. God can use unlikely people in unlikely places to achieve his purposes, and small acts of obedience to God can lead to big things. Amen. You need to listen to God, because he will keep nudging you until you do. Remember Jonah. Remember Jonah. And if you want to know about Jonah, read the book. God wanted Jonah to go to Nineveh. Jonah did not want to go. He disobeyed God and thought he could run away from him. But that didn't work out too well. And then he found out that Nineveh wasn't so bad after all. And that he never should have disobeyed God to begin with. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll be back soon with another story.